had a freaking Pokemon level up moment and I'm supposed to feel bad for him? Get your spoiled butt out of here. Don't tell me the directors sat there and said, we need a meathead. Don't forget the tooth. Don't forget the tooth.
Change the world. Your imagination.
It could change the world.
Hello, beautiful bookish family. Welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. This is Future Steph coming in with a disclaimer for this vlog because I finished Dune and I need to say some things before I get into this vlog, as I've been doing a lot of searching online trying to find other reviewers who may have shared similar thoughts as me about the first book in the Dune series, and it is really hard to find some other reviewers who disliked it to the level that I did. That being said, the few that I did find, there seems to be a very extreme fandom surrounding Dune, so I just wanted to let you know that, one, if this is your favorite book of all time and you don't like hearing discussions of people who don't like your favorite book, then maybe this is not the video for you. Also, this is not a personal attack on anybody. I need to make that very clear, and also I need to make it very clear that I completely understood this book. It did not go over my head. I actually have a book club discussion coming up about it in the very near future, but it seems like all of the reviews of people saying that they didn't like this book are filled with really horrible things being said to them, such as, you must not have a very high IQ, it's because you're a woman that you don't understand, or this person looks too young, of course they didn't get it, come back when you have more life experience. Those are horrible things to say to people just because that they didn't like your piece of favorite media. I would not think that someone who didn't like something that I enjoyed is dumber than me, or has a lower IQ, or is just whatever. Even things that I've rated 1 star, if it resonated with someone else, good for them. That is fantastic. Everyone needs something to resonate with. However, this did not work for me. I'm letting you know right now, this entire vlog is going to be a rant. So I'm going to come back at the end of this video and talk to you about some of the things that really bothered me about Dune. Greetings, people of the internet. Welcome to a vlog. My name is Steph, and I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but that's okay because Dune is getting read this month for 2 reasons. One, it is the book club pick for the Interstellar Book Club, which is a sci-fi book club that I run along with some sci-fi buddies, and we want to read this or reread it before the movie comes out in theaters next month, which I'm so excited for. Now, that being said, this is going to be my second time reading Dune. I do need to preface this by saying this is the second vlog that I'm doing for this book. The first time didn't go so well, but I'm hoping that on a reread it'll be better. Reason being, because this world and the story I really enjoyed, but the writing didn't do it for me. I will try to give you some pros and cons along the way, because I feel like the first time I vlogged this book, I was really new at vlogging. I just started my channel. I didn't even know really how to review books at all. But now that I'm more experienced, I can give you a much more in-depth review to my thoughts as we go along the journey. I am 100 pages into Dune, and Houston, we have a problem. I don't know if you can see the amount of tabs that I'm doing. I'm using sticky notes as tabs because I'm trying not to mark up this really fancy copy of Dune. But my God, are there problems with Dune? This book did not age well. Now, I don't know if I'm going to give you an update every 100 pages, but I will say that at this point in time, it is safe to claim that Dune is about white saviorism. This spoiled child named Paul and his family, who does not care about the people of Arrakis, are coming to rule this planet, and we have an evil villain who literally is a fusion between Dr. Evil, I think his name is, from Austin Powers, you know, those Spy Who Shagged Me movies, the Dr. Evil, that guy, and what's his name from Star Wars, Jabba the Hutt? A combination of those two, and you've got your villain from Dune. He is highly annoying. There's gonna be spoilers in this video for Dune. I'm gonna do my best to keep it non-spoilery. I'm struggling, okay? Am I still gonna watch the movie? Yes. Do I still really think this is an awesome world and that amazing things can come out of this later on in the series? Quite possibly, because I never got past book 1. I hope that later on it turns into more of a criticism of the stereotypes that are set into here. It's just kind of... Listen, we have a group of darker-skinned people living on this desert planet who have a language that's very similar to Arabic. And these white people that are coming from another planet with the idea of harvesting the crops of this planet, when they find out or even get a hint that there might be a direct relation to the growth of these crops and the giant worms that live there, what's the first thing that they say? What do they say? What is the first suggestion that comes out of Paul's mouth? Our chosen one, our hero extraordinaire. Why don't we just kill them all? The level of frustration that I have. I cannot stand Paul. Every time he says something that I guess is supposed to be smart, that to me isn't really smart. It's just like, okay, you have enough puzzle pieces to figure that out. Literally, either his mom or his dad goes, "That's my son. That's my son. I'm so proud." I'm just like, why? Why? I get it. Okay, every parent's gonna be like really proud of their kids every time they figure something out. But to say that he is the coming of the prophecy, the new Messiah, the new prophet of these people that were not even your people to begin with, and to come in and act like you understand their entire situation and that you have the key to solving them. Literally, there was a scene where someone said he must be the Messiah because he knows how to put on our shoes. The prophecy says that the one who comes will know your culture. Knowing someone's culture does not fully manifest itself in someone saying, "I know how to put on your shoes." Okay, I'm gonna go read. Bye. This is quickly turning into a rant, hate read. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. What am I? Am I halfway? I think this is a halfway check-in for Dune. listen, people are not gonna like me for this. I really don't care. This is not an attack on you personally. If you really enjoy Dune, if Dune is a favorite, I understand it's a nostalgia for so many people. This is probably one of the worst villains that I've ever read. I do not care about any of these main characters, and I don't care about spoiling anything anymore. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, love you, goodbye. Everything is telling and not showing. Please, dear Frank Herbert, stop telling me things. Stop telling me that there's an evil plan. Stop telling me that this character is so smart. Stop telling me that this person is very fast. Show me that they're fast. People are evil, but I only know that they're evil because of the evil, really cliche thoughts that they're having in their head, or because someone else is basically saying in another context, that person is so evil. Show me, for the love of God. Oh, it's so painful. It's so painful. This book should have taken me, like, what, 3 days? It's a reread. It's fast. It's just taking me so long. I'm not having a good time, you guys. It's not going well. If Jessica says one more time, "That's my son," I'm going to freaking throw this book at the wall. She is annoying. Leto was annoying. He's dead now. I mean, he did like one good thing. He like saved some people when he was alive. But the whole scene where Dr. Yue puts the tooth in his mouth, that if he bites onto it, it's like the, what is it, for him to like kill himself when he gets close to the bear and whatever, right? He's fading out in that scene, right? He's becoming unconscious because Dr. Yue is going to switch out the tooth cap in his mouth. And as his vision becomes blurry around the edges, it vignettes Yue, and Yue is going, "Don't forget the tooth. Don't forget the tooth." It's like, dude, was that necessary? Was that necessary? I can't take this book seriously. Oh my gosh. And then freaking Paul is like, Paul is like, "Yeah, I'm so smart. I'm so great. My family is so fantastic. We came here to do amazing things. I'm destined for greatness." Like, there's no reason it couldn't have been any other Mentat who could have also, as a conspiracy, been turned into a Bene Gesserit. I don't know. But then let's talk about the worms. I'm all over the place. This is what I do when I rage. I like go all over the place. I want to bet right here and right now. I don't remember if this is answered in the book or if it's not answered in book 1. Maybe it's answered in another book because I never got past book 1. But I will bet that the connection between the worms and the spices is that the spices are worm poop. That's my bet. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, and if I'm wrong, that would be fantastic, because give me some actual plot twist. It's so annoying. Everyone's so annoying. And like the Peter guy, and when he goes to kill for the first time, he like stabs someone, right? I don't even remember who. I don't really care at this point. And the Baron goes, so that's how he kills. But like, dude, you gave him a really important role. He is your right-hand man assassin. You've never tested that as an evil villain. You have never tested as to whether he will actually go through with killing someone or what his methods of killing are. You didn't put him to the test. You didn't say, "Show me." Isn't that like Mafioso Boss 101? Like, what? The Don always goes and gets, when they recruit someone, it's like, this is your, what's it called? What's the thing that gangs do? Initiation? Show me that you're actually willing to go the extra mile and be my assassin. But no. I've been yelling at the camera for 5 minutes, and I don't know if this footage is even viable. I'm still gonna watch this movie. I am so curious as to how they are going to make this movie okay and interesting enough for 21st century audiences. I have no idea what they're going to change. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't like anybody. We'll see. We'll see. there is a scene that happened earlier. I'm jumping around, okay? There was a scene. This scene makes me so angry. Listen to this. Listen to this. It's when they first get to the place where they're living on Arrakis, or Dune, right? So Jessica gets there, and part of their riches of their palace is that they have palm trees outside. So Jessica sees the people of the planet who barely have water, who have adapted to this new way of life because water is so valuable. Water is a rich material that is worth more than gold on their planet. People are poor because water is currency. So, what happens? Jessica sees that these people are walking by their palace and see these palm trees. She sees that the people are staring at the palm trees, and she's wondering to herself out loud, why are the people staring at the palm trees? And someone with her explains that the palm trees take up something like 40 liters of water a day to maintain, where it takes about 8 liters of water a day to maintain a man. So it's demonstrating the riches that Paul and Jessica and their family have, that they are flaunting in front of the poor people of this planet, and they expect them to love them, and they expect them to rule peacefully, but they're showing off that they're wasting precious water on plants that is not necessary. These plants are barely even, are they even native to this world? And the fact that she needed that to be explained to her is a demonstration of her white privilege. She's supposed to be smart. She's supposed to have emotional intelligence. She's supposed to be the Bene Gesserit. She's supposed to be able to read people. And literally, 1 + 1 = 2, Jessica. Poor people who need water looking at a plant that is not from here, that takes up a lot of water, is basically you slapping them in the face. But we're supposed to, feel for her, and we're supposed to understand that she's really smart. Listen, and then there's Paul. The apple did not fall far from that tree. I do not understand Paul at all. He is a spoiled rich boy. Why is he going off on Jessica for him being, I don't even know how to say this word, Kwisatz Haderach, whatever combination, Mentat, Bene Gesserit, male, prophecy, heir, whatever. Why is he getting mad at her? Why is everyone in this book coming at Jessica for giving birth to a boy? As if she is the one who had any say in that. Can we blame the father? Science, biology. What the freak is going on? I am so confused. I'm so confused. Because when his father explained to him that he is a mentat, it should have clicked in his superior brain that this is what was happening, because at the same token, he was conscious of the Bene Gesserit training that he was getting. So we've known this, right? For a long time. But why is he freaking out right now? Because all of a sudden he realizes that he can't control his emotions? Because this entire time, everyone has been taking advantage of him and building him to be this superior ruler of the whatever colonizers? What? No one's actually treated him like a kid up until this point. So, he loses it, fine, but the way he's losing it, to me, is not rational at all. He had a freaking Pokemon level up moment, and I'm supposed to feel bad for him? Get your spoiled butt out of here. I don't care about Paul. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. Here's my rant. Okay, bye. Yo, I don't even care that I look like a foot right now. This line right here. The muscle-minded tank brain Ravan. The moment I read that, I said, I know Batista is in this movie. I know Batista is in the new movie that's coming out. Don't tell me he's Don't tell me the directors sat there and said, we need a meathead. Who could we get? Oh, I know. Who was that meathead that was in Guardians of the Galaxy? Batista! If I wasn't hate reading this, I would have DNF'd it a long time ago. How is it that Paul can see into the future? How can Paul see into the future when he's supposed to be a megamind computer? I thought he was calculating. In order to calculate, he has to have certain information already. And I don't understand how he's making these predictions about the future based on information that he wasn't supposed to have or wasn't supposed to know. So, what is happening? What is happening? So then, he's not really a computer. Does he just have precognition? What? What? Someone help me out. I don't understand. I feel like you're either one or the other. It was much cooler to think that the Mentat was someone who can just, like, be a tactical forecaster and come up with every possible scenario based on the information that they had, but that information should change with new information that's acquired. But he has supernatural powers. Like, where are we? Where are we? It's going from the plausibly scientific, based on understanding of enhanced human psychology and sociology studying and like emotional intelligence and reading body language and those kinds of things to going to be supernatural when it doesn't need to. It didn't need it. We don't need that. That can't be the last line. Can't be. You know, considering that this is a reread, I must have blocked this book out of my memory. The last line of this book is the women declaring their acceptance that they are second-rate citizens. But they're gonna do it the best they can. There's so much potential for so much action. Something tells me that that might be the saving grace of this movie, is that it's going to be filled with all the action scenes that are missing from here. It's like we get all the dialogue right before the action, and we get all the dialogue after the action, but the only way we know about the action is someone saying, well, the battle's over, and this is the result. Or, we are preparing for battle. And then the next chapter is, yes, the battle was won. Like, give me the battle! If the author can't write battle scenes, fine. Get another author or another writer to help you write the battle scenes. Or just don't have battle be a part of the story. I don't know, but like giving me the before and after, I have no evidence that anyone can actually do anything that they say. Because we don't see it. Okay. Alright. Where do I even begin? I know there's a very good chance that the rest of the Dune series is going to probably alleviate some of the concerns that I have about book one. However, there was not enough of a hook in book one to make me want to read however many of the other books there are to find out whether these issues were resolved, because of a few things that happened. First off is the role of women in this book was so poorly managed. Now, the women have magical powers. That is interesting. I would love to hear about a society in which the women have magical powers and how there's different kinds of things that are happening depending on what planet you're from. It's all variations of the human species that has kind of drifted off and had some maybe genetic mutation over the millennia of interplanetary travel, or religious concerns or shifts have happened that have deviated from the current religions that we have at this day and time. That sounds super interesting. However, there were certain moments in which it just did not seem necessary for female characters to be painted in a specific light that they were in. For example, Jessica had the ability to teach Paul everything that he needed to know. Fine. She was actually claimed to be a better fighter at one point. Fine. She has this vast knowledge of the heritage of the Bene Gesserit and the cultural significance and, secrets of this society. Great, that can all be used to her advantage. Why was it necessary for the prophecy that seemed to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I think that's the point of the book, that these prophecies were specifically made as a manipulation tactic, that it's a criticism on organized religion, that all of these concepts are man-made in the first place, and that's probably something that's going to come up in the future because I don't plan on continuing it, but it did not make sense to me why Jessica could not be the one to fulfill any of the roles that Paul had done, or that the power could have been a split power. Why is it that he needed to be the person to fulfill this role, and that it couldn't have been a member of the Freeman tribe to do so themselves? Why was it that all of these battles and political upheaval and disregard to certain policies are happening, but they're still being acceptably put into place because our main character is a white savior? No, that's not an acceptable reason to me whatsoever. It would have been more satisfying if we kept Paul in the position that he was, but he was splitting power with Jessica and having her be a reformed leader of the Bene Gesserit, because there seems to be this kind of negative connotation towards the Reverend Mother of being this master manipulator, that these people can't be trusted. It was brought up by the Harkonnens. It was brought up in the segments of the House of Atreides. It was brought up by the Freemen. All these people who were very distrusting of them. But give me another reason than this perpetualization of this false narrative that seems like it's going completely over Jessica's head, but with the amount of knowledge that she has, it shouldn't be. She should be using her abilities to become a leader, and if there were so many kinds of disagreements that Paul or Jessica had with any of these other societies were running the class systems within their communities, they have the power to shift that. But instead, in the very end, they decide to, again, perpetuate these ideas and feel like that they need to fall into the already established narrative to be able to subvert it, when I totally don't think that was necessary or the point, because nobody seemed to be following the established narrative of what the politics of this world deemed quote-unquote acceptable, because everybody was screwing each other over. So why are we all sitting here pretending that everyone's following rules that they are not? I understand that this was written a long time ago and that I was expecting some sort of problematic elements to be in there, and I can still say that I've read very old books and given them 5 stars even though they had problematic elements in them because of how they were used or how they were written. But this entire world was founded in certain plot devices and character narratives that presented a harmful stereotype. For example, the only openly gay character that we have in this book, and I say the word openly very loosely because it was only known to those who were around the Baron, that he is a pedophile and that he is gay. Now, putting those two stereotypes together into the same space in a 1960s audience of sci-fi book readers, that is perpetuating this idea of villainizing someone for being gay. That is not okay. It would have been one thing if it was used once, but it was used repeatedly. There were multiple chapters in which the very end of the chapter ended with him saying something about how he is idealizing young boys' bodies and looking at his grandson in a sexual manner. Throwing those tropes in there just because you want me to dislike this character is not reason enough for me to think that this is quality writing. Additionally, I know that a lot of people have said that Paul is not supposed to be a likable main character. However, Jessica and Leto and all of these people were written constantly giving us their inner thoughts into saying that Paul is a smart person. He's mature for his age. He's got all these things going for him. He's the new Hwazak. I don't even know how to say that word. Totally fine. The new combination Mentat Benedicere, like Messiah, right? Prophet, whatever. But he's a horrible person. He is a horrible person, and for Jessica being someone who is so culturally knowledgeable, does not take the time to really understand the people that she is coming to rule. The author also tried to persuade us of Paul fulfilling this prophecy through hearing the thoughts of Freeman characters saying, oh, he is fulfilling the prophecy because XYZ, he fits this narrative. But it was so loosely connected. So he understands something about your culture. So he understood how to do something very easily. Or so he picked up how to ride a worm faster than most. Of course, because he's been trained by the Bene Gesserit to fulfill this place. He was created by Jessica with the intention of becoming the whatever that freaking word is. He was also trained by Leto as a mentat. Like, this was all masterfully crafted, which, again, I understand is a critique of organized religion. But I think, again, that the author's goal with strategic literary devices that were used was to make us root for Paul. And in the end, I didn't care about him. He was a jerk. He was just a spoiled rich kid who came in there and did what everyone was telling him to do. Also, at the age of 15, acting like he's like 32. No, I didn't buy it. I do not like what Jessica said at the very last line of the book in how her and Chani will be brought down in history as the wives. No. All of that could have been subverted. I don't know if it does later on in the other books. And if it does, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know if these concerns that I have are resolved, because these are just the comments that I have based on reading book 1. And I'm sure that there's a lot more here, especially being given that the original author did not finish the series. It was finished by another author, which means that the values that are being reflected in the book may have changed. We have the Orange Catholic Bible referenced really frequently throughout this book. So we know that Catholicism has perpetuated over the millennia. We're assuming it's millennia because they're on another planet, and how long might it have taken for human societal evolution to be diverted enough that we have all of these new sub-branches of Catholicism and potentially Islam, which is the point that I'm getting to, is that we have words like jihad, which at first I was like, is this just a general reference word about all religions? How are they using this? But after doing some research online and also speaking to some of my Arabic friends and asking them about the context in which these words are used, it's specifically mostly used to reference Islamic religion. The fact that Paul is coming into this land of people of color and a people that have a language that is very similar to Arabic, that uses some Arabic terminology, and imposing the word jihad is a direct reference to the Freemen being descendants of the Muslim religion or followers of this diversion of Islam. If we think about what was happening in United States 1960s when Frank Herbert was writing this book, it was the beginning, I want to say it was the late 50s actually, when anti-Middle East sentiment started to become a part of mainstream media, news reporting, or part of the general vernacular of the United States. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. Think about who the audience was at the time, what was happening in the political climate around which Frank Herbert was writing this book. Although we didn't learn much about the Orange Catholic Bible, and I'm sure that that is answered more in the future books, why it's called Orange, I don't know. And I really don't intend to find out more than that, because I don't think that it's an excuse that later books will answer these questions that I'm having now. There could have been nuggets of information given to us to talk about how these practices stemmed over millennia, people migrating to other places, new terminology coming into place, new resources, new technology, new ways of understanding the universe could have altered our contemporary views on religion. But despite that, there still could have been pieces of it that will be consistent throughout the evolution of humanity? That's a conversation that we could have had. But did we? No. There was a perfect opportunity when Jessica was explaining this about the multitude of planets. We learned about the prison planet. We learned about all these other planets. When we talked a little bit about Caladan, we didn't get it. So because not enough information was given in book 1, it's really dependent on me having to go and reading book 2 to see if I'm going to get these answers. But I, as a sci-fi female reviewer, do not feel comfortable with the way that women were perpetuated in this book, and even though I myself am not Arabic, and again, from speaking with other friends who do speak Arabic to help me understand the root of these terminology, I do not think that it was used in a appropriate way. I actually believe it was some serious cultural appropriation there, but again, these are things that I expected going into a classic sci-fi. That doesn't mean that there isn't a threshold that I am not willing to cross. Which goes back to Paul. The name Paul. I understand. Paul from religion, right? But then we throw Jessica in there. Where does that name come from? I hope that there's a reason for that, because everyone else's name was very unique. I can understand Paul's name being a biblical reference. I can understand everyone else's name being original to different planets and different languages, but why Jessica? See, everything else seemed to have a very obvious or logical explanation, but not that. And that just seemed to be the case throughout. Additionally, the fight scenes were subpar in my opinion, and not showing me about it. We finally got a fight scene at the end of the book, but by then I was just really done with it because there were so many other battles that I think could have been much more descriptive. I do not feel that this book was descriptive enough in its world building. I mean, planet-wise, yes, but everything else, no. If anything, it was very dialogue heavy and very much depended on us being able to read what the characters were thinking in italices, rather than us just learning it through their language. Allow me to doubt a little bit. Allow me to solve the puzzle for myself, but it just gave me the answer on every page, especially with those epigraphs. All in all, I would say, sorry, I'm giving Dune 1 star. I do not like this book, but do not take my word for it. Go and read it for yourself. And if you do like it, I'm happy that you like it. That is wonderful that you like it. I cannot wait to talk to my sci-fi friends about this because I actually really enjoy when everyone has differentiating opinions. I like deconstructing books and really talking about what aspects worked or what transcended time well or what is still relevant. But differentiating opinions does not justify harassment. So that is my 2 cents. I will not be surprised if I see the Dune fandom coming for me in the comments, but you know what? That's okay. I hope you enjoy this book more than I did. If you like my style of reviewing, if you like hearing about people who have different opinions, or if you want more content from me, I post videos every week, and I'll see you later. Bye!
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr. Wonka worked the factory.
In your wildest dreams, you'll put out the legend.
Mr. Wonka